Welcome back to this video about iPads and using Google Slides specifically on iPads. There have been some issues where links would not work for some people, so I want to go over that, and I'm also going to go over why kids can or cannot edit work that you share out with them. So that's me popping out of that laptop. My name's Eileen Fernandez-Parker, and I'm coming to you from Cultivating the Learning. So let's get started. So editing rights are the most important thing to figure out before you send out your file to your students. If you give them view-only rights, they can't edit it. So you want to make sure that you give them editing rights. Now, there are ways that they can make it editable themselves, and I'm going to go over that. So the first thing I want to show you is this is a view of a slideshow that was shared with me by a teacher. And notice this view only down here. This pops up if it's view only just for about 2 or 3 seconds and then disappears. So you have to train your students right away to look for that so that they can let you know right away if it's not editable, because they have to jump through some hoops, or you do. Okay. Now, if they don't pay attention and they miss that, you can tell them to look at the top of their iPad, and if they only have 3 icons, it's view only. In edit mode, they get all of these choices because it's editable. So you could just tell them to focus on, do you have the forward and the back button or the undo redo? If they don't see those, then you know that it's in view only mode. Now, there are some other things I'm going to go over in this video, and that is that you can actually choose to present to a Google Meet. And that's going to be super important, especially with remote learning, right? And then within Google Classroom, you might be sharing out the assignment incorrectly. So you want to make sure that you choose the Create button and then Assignment. And then you have to attach the file first. So you have to hit the Add button and attach the file. And then you have to choose the drop down and choose Make a Copy for each student. If you forget to choose Make a Copy for each student, the default is students can view file. This is not editable inside an assignment. So what you have to do is you have to go up and reuse your original and then choose the correct settings and then delete the first one. Okay. So the learning targets for this video are that I can identify whether a file was shared in view only mode or edit mode. I can copy an edit only file to make it editable, and that will be the student's job. And I can share out a file in Google Classroom as an assignment to make a copy for each student. Okay. So let's get started. So this is a file that a teacher shared with me. Okay. Now, you might have noticed the view only pop up at the bottom, and it was only there for a few seconds, okay? So if I'm not paying attention, I might not understand why I can't edit anything on these slides, okay? Because some of the things the teacher wants to be drag and droppable, all right? So the first problem here is that this was not shared out as an editable file. So you want to be able to teach your students how to go up to the 3 dots up here. And I'm going to click on the 3 dots. You want to teach them to click the share and export. It's the only one with an arrow. So if you're working with non-readers, you want to tell them to look for the arrow, click on that. And then you want to tell them to go all the way to the bottom and choose the last one, make a copy. And so you can see here, it's making a copy. And when it's finished, it'll be called Copy of Friday, November 6th Slides. Okay, and you can see how many buttons I have now. Now on the iPad, if I go down to slide 6 and I say, today I feel, and it says, circle how you feel today, this might be better done as a drag and drop. So drag and drop the one that you to show how you feel. Okay, now, if you notice, the first time I tapped on it, it didn't drag right away. Okay, sometimes they're just a little bit, notice I'm trying to touch on that. Okay, I might have to hit the undo button. Okay. Now, sometimes things won't move because items are layered based on when you created them in the file. So you want to make sure that the things that are drag and droppable are at the very top and they are able then to be dragged and dropped. What happens here is if I drag these over underneath, it didn't work. I have to select it first and then I have to drag it. Now, if I try to drag it, I can't drag it because there's something else on top of it. So think of it as layers of glass. Okay. So I'm going to undo that. And this is probably easier to create on your laptop. And what you want to do is you want to right click on it and choose order and then bring to front. Now, the last thing is Google Classroom. We're going to choose create assignment. And then you have to add from your Google Drive or wherever your slide is, right? And I'm just going to choose this presentation and insert it. Right here, this is what's key. You have to choose make a copy for each student, and then each student will get his own copy, and it will be editable just for him. Now, in addition to that, when you choose make a copy for each student, it also is stored inside your drive, so you then can keep an eye on kids and peek in on them without them having to turn it in. So for formative feedback, this make a copy for each student is going to be super important. All right. So let's go back and check our learning targets. Identify whether a file was shared in view only or edit, copy it, and then share it out in Google Classroom. If you're interested in something beyond this, feel free to leave comments in the comment section, letting me know if it worked for you, if it didn't work for you, etc. And if there's something else on iPads with G Suite that you'd like to know, drop that in the comments as well. This is a file. It's a Bitmoji Classroom, right? They're so very popular today. And a teacher shared this with me, and she said that for her specifically, it was that the links were not working. Now, she did not want this to be editable. She doesn't want the kids moving things around. So to share this out in view only mode was correct.